All right. Hey everyone. Welcome to my little live here. If you're watching on the playback, thanks for coming back and watching it. Um, I'm doing something a little different today. I've never tried it before. I'm gonna go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. I don't know if I've ever gone live. Maybe like a year or two ago on Facebook. but I'm not sure how that works here. If you're on Facebook and I can't see your comments. I don't know if I can see your comments. I'll have to find out. But if you're seeing this ear right here, it's humongous. I got stung twice on the same ear today. Just doing something really simple in the yard, so now my ear looks like a big old damn pork rind stuck on the side of my head. But oh man, that thing itches so bad. But man, I'm gonna have to be like this the whole time. Today I have a couple things I can talk about. I had a couple conversations on social medias about bees that were a little exhausting, and it's hard to type constantly all my responses. Let me see something here real quick. All this, okay. So what it looks like, I just noticed they're going to put the comments from Facebook and YouTube here on the same thing. So if a whole lot of people show up, which never happens, I might not be able to keep up. So what I'll do is I'll just start so people have some questions. I don't care. I'll answer anything. Answer any kind of questions about anything. I will just peek in on this Instagram back and forth that I had with somebody. I see some people are coming in. In case you missed it, my ear is huge. I got stung twice on the ear. Changing bottom boards today. Let's see. All right, so to the backstory for the conversation I had today on Instagram, and kind of, I don't want to say arguing, but discussing the difference between treatment-free beekeeping, like that's all I talk about, and so-called chemical-free beekeeping. You always got to go like this, chemical-free. Because, I don't know, it's just such a silly term. Everything is chemicals, and they just shouldn't be confused. Like, keep one separate from the other. What will make wax not dirty yellow? Oh man, I'm just about to get into this one thing on Instagram, but you know what? I don't care. I'll answer Frank's questions. Just to get it warmed up a little bit here. Frank from Galloway Lights, the big YouTuber with like 11,000 people, asks, what will make wax white, not dirty yellow? If by that you mean what makes the bees draw white wax instead of the yellow wax, that just depends on the nectar that they're getting, from where, what time of the year. I noticed my bees make very white wax in the spring, but then certain nectars like chestnut and goldenrod and all those things, they're gonna make orange, yellow wax. But if you mean when you're rendering it, how do you make it white instead of yellow? I don't even know. I don't know how you make it white. I can usually get it down to a pretty light yellow, but never white. I've seen cappings wax that was white, but yeah. Hopefully that answers that. I don't know what that comment means. So anyway, here, let me show a little bit of this Instagram post. Let me see. I'll share the screen. All right. So the background is some other person made a let me make myself bigger. I don't like being overshadowed right now just yet. Some other Instagram person, not a bad or a good guy, made a post saying that treatments are bad or something like that. Treatments for bees are bad, which I don't care what people do with their bees. So I don't care if I don't think of them as good or bad. I don't think of anything as really good or bad. It's all relative. But somebody came in there saying, shit, now I forget what the hell they said. Oh, they said they were a treatment-free beekeeper, but that they disagreed. In their sentence talking about how they're a treatment-free beekeeper, they said that they use other means of controlling mites. Well, right there, you're not a treatment-free beekeeper. I'm always going to catch people either flat out lying or just being confused about what they think they do. If you do intentional brood breaks, if you do sugar shakes, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're trying to fight mites, you're not a treatment-free beekeeper. I didn't make that up. It's not my rules. That's just definitions of words. So I explained that to this person. And they asked some good questions. So I went and made a video reply to their question. So I'll play the video. It's not going to be big. I don't know. Can't really expand Instagram on here. Let me see if I can. I'll just play it. It's not really the visuals that matter, because all I did was walked around and made footage of my bees, and then I talked over it. How you doing, Letitia Mason? How you doing? I don't know what you're scared of. You're scared of my ear being so big from being stung. But here, let me play this thing. It's just me yakking like I always do. Good questions. To routinely inspect a hive the way beekeepers have done for hundreds of years is not a treatment. The treatment is an intentional way of trying to fight a pest. In this case, 99% of the time we're talking about varroa mite. Many people do confuse so-called chemical-free beekeeping with treatment-free beekeeping. But what do chemical-free beekeepers do? They treat by doing certain manipulations or using essential oils or whatever. It's still a treatment. It's just some semantics that gets mixed up. Intentional brood breaks are a good example of something that is a treatment, but it doesn't involve chemicals. The point of beekeeping for people is going to be different. For me, I just have loved bees since I was a little kid. Some people do love to produce honey. They just have many reasons. I fall into several categories. When I first learned about treatments for beekeeping, I could see that that's going to send honeybees down the same road as commercial turkeys, pigs, chickens, cattle, whatever, animals that depend on humans to keep them alive, and I really didn't want to contribute to that. Do I lose some bees as a result of not treating for mites? Of course I do, but very often I'll lose less colonies than people that I know. And to me, it's not a loss anyway. It's just culling of the weakest possible stock that I have. I keep between 80 to 100 colonies this way, but once you become proficient at swarm trapping, swarm catching, splitting, you can easily keep a smaller operation without the fear of losing all your bees by not treating. Thanks for hearing me out. Okay. That seems like it goes on for an hour, but it's only 90 seconds. I really was talking much faster than I normally do. I normally talk like a damn sloth, but I was trying to get it all into that little bit of time so that it could just, I don't know, be a reel, so that I could have that comment reply on there. They only give you 90 seconds, but I think I was pretty clear. Fighting pests or parasites in your hive is a treatment. To kind of explain a little more. So this person on Instagram, this creator, it was kind of a weird situation because they were having some serious cognitive dissonance, and it was just coming out really bad in the replies. Like, they did not want to give up calling themselves a treatment-free beekeeper, so they were trying to just explain why certain things, try to make me look like I'm treating. Everything that I do is a treatment, so then technically nobody's a treatment-free beekeeper. It's so, I don't think this person was doing it on purpose. I don't think they were being I don't know what the hell word I was going to use, but they're not trying to be antagonistic towards me. I think they just really were confused, or just having cognitive dissonance. I mean, I hear that all the time. People tell me I'm a treatment-free beekeeper, and I was, oh, cool. And then they'll go on to tell me how they cage their queen for 2 weeks, whatever. They do whatever dumb things, whatever things that are treatments. And I'm like, well, no, you're not a treatment-free beekeeper. So then this conversation started over here on my page here. And man, did it go for a while. Just hate everybody over there on Facebook or whatever. My ear, let me see, looks like a big old dinner plate, but it's just because I got stung. Oh man, the thing is really bothering me. But what the hell? Let's look at the comments. Let's go to the comments. Let's see if I can make this any bigger. How do I do this? Oh, will this work? Will that work? Can you guys still hear me? Sometimes I lose sound depending on how I have the screen set up. But here, let's start from the top. I say, hopefully this clears up the confusion between chemical-free and treatment-free beekeeping. Inspections are beekeeping and always have been. So that let's just, flesh it out here. A lot of times people will say, I don't know why they do it. Anything you do in your beehive is a treatment. They'll say, oh, well, you look at your bees, you take the lid off, you inspect them. Oh, well, now you're treating. And I don't know why they do that. Like, no, I'm not. Treatment means to fight a pest in your hive. And 99% of the time we're talking about varroa mites. Beetles, if you have beetle traps and all kind of things in your hive, yeah, that's a treatment too. But beetles ain't really killing bees for everybody. Maybe in the south, but they kind of cause their own problem. Putting pollen patties on and just doing all kind of stuff. They're causing it. Let's see. Why is this acting up? Right, so let me go to a little bit more of the comment here. Let me make it bigger. Attempts to fight varroa mites are treatments, whether they involve chemicals or not. So there's another one. They'll say, I'm a treatment-free beekeeper because I don't use chemicals. All I do is brood breaks. I cage the queen. I see it's a high mite load, so I split like crazy. I do all these things. You're fighting mites. Like, you're not doing a good job, but you're still fighting mites. You're trying. But yeah, those are treatments. To just do normal splits because it's springtime, you're trying to keep your bees out of the trees, that's not a treatment. I've been saying that for years. Anybody would know that. So I'm trying to tell these people, they're scared. The reason people treat their bees is because they're either scared or they're greedy, and they don't even know it. They're scared of the death of bees, or they're trying to hold on to their money. They don't really care about the bees. They want to keep the money that they invested in those bees. They don't want to have to buy bees again. That's greedy. When you care about keeping your investment over what's best for the bees, to me, that's just greed. Let's see. So I say, in my opinion, it's necessary for the continuation of the species in the long term. I shouldn't have said in my opinion. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. If people keep saving the worst bees that they have, the worst possible bees that they have every year to sell and to keep, they're eventually going to just have bees that you're basically maybe keeping in a giant greenhouse that can just never go anywhere. That you're going to have to feed them. They're going to have to put all their food is going to have to be given to them. You're going to have to just constantly treat them even more than these treaters are doing now. It's not something I would look forward to. Let's see what's going on here. Let's go to some of the replies and comments here. This person says, let me look at the rest of these. Not trying to pick a fight. Let's see. Genuinely confused. You say inspections are beekeeping, but what is the point of inspecting if you have zero intention of doing any hive manipulations? Literally, why keep bees at all? Just let them be and do their feral bee selves, just like every other bee on earth. So this person was really confusing me here. I didn't understand how they were separating inspections from manipulation, because where's my hands at? Manipulation is literally moving things with your hands, just moving things, moving frames, moving boxes, doing whatever, moving a hive. Like, all that stuff has always been beekeeping since, in this continent, since the 1500s, 1600s. Actually, no. Manipulation didn't start until, I guess, Langstroth invented the movable frames. But who cares? People still move skeps around. It's still manipulation. Well, let's see. So I'm trying to reply to this person here. Inspecting, and I just say exactly what I just said. Inspecting involves moving things around. Seems you're confusing the word manipulation with treatment. So that's what I concluded here. The way treaters, or people who are afraid of calling themselves treaters, the way they cope with that is by finding any possible way of describing what they do and calling it anything but what it is, which is a treatment. So they'll say, I don't treat my bees, I just assist them with not dying, or I don't treat them, I just like the assist is a big one, or I just manipulate them in certain ways to keep the mite levels low. They'll just say any weird combination of words. And instead of just saying, I treat my freaking bee, I treat my bees. That's what I do. I just treat them. I just don't use actual miticides that come in little packets, or maybe I don't use a vaporizer. Maybe they do. Even vaporizer people still think they're not treating their bees because oxalic acid is in fucking spinach somewhere. Suddenly that's natural now. It doesn't matter. What are you doing? What are you doing with that vaporizer? Like, just answer that question. You're treating your bees. What are you doing by caging your queen? You're trying to cause a brood break to cause mites to go down. It doesn't work. It's not even a good treatment. But if that's all you're gonna do, you might as well just do nothing. So then the question that kept coming up is like, what's the point of even keeping bees? Like, what's the point of even doing it if you're not going to? Then that's where we got confused again. Like, if you're not going to what? Like, we're not going to what? Oh, if you're not going to assist them in some way. If I'm not going to, what's the point of keeping bees if you're not treating? So, like I said before, as a little kid, 5, 6 years old, I'm just obsessed with bees, wasps, spiders, ants. I just love bees and bugs. I love them all. And as I grew up and saw what beekeeping was about, I saw that one of my favorite insects is trying to be turned into, commercial pigs and those commercial white turkeys that can't even breathe, they can't eat, they can't do anything. Or like certain type of dogs. They're just trying to be, intentionally or not, that's what they're being converted to for the sake of honey production and pollination and just hobbyist greed. And the hobbyists are just trying to be commercial beekeepers. That's all that is. And like I said, I didn't want to be a part of that. So what do? I go catch a shit ton of bees. I get buried in bees. I don't treat any of them. I still end up with a ton of bees. So I try to sell as many as I can. I can never sell enough. I'm still always buried. And then more bees need to be removed. So I'm not hurting the bee population. People are just so soft, anymore. People are literally taking one bee out of the grass, taking it in their house, feeding it some honey, crying with it, taking it to bed with them, and then taking it outside. Like, people are going nuts about just single little bugs. So heaven forbid you let a colony you give it a chance. I don't let them die. I let them fight, and they win that fight very often, and they lose sometimes. But I can't chase every hawk around that's eating a little baby bunny because I just feel so bad for it. Or I can't kill every coyote that eats a baby deer. These people are confusing that kind of sadness with beekeeping, and it's just not good for the bees. So here's another one. Even my buddy Frank is trying to play around a little bit, but I'll play along. A screen bottom board to stop pests. Screen bottom board is to stop pests. I guess that disqualifies treatment free. So there's kind of like a goofy gray area. I think it's just such a weird, like, unnecessary piece of equipment that was just invented in like late 80s. Think about it. It never existed before that. Ask anybody from the early 80s or the 70s or 60s or the early 1900s what a screen bottom board is. They think you're off your damn rocker. So now they come along with these stupid ass screen bottom boards, and now these people in the hot areas think they really need them because they're new. They're a bunch of new beekeepers. They weren't keeping them back then, so they think they really need them, and they sound so stupid defending them. Oh, I need these screen bottom boards because my bees are heat. Well, what was your grandfather doing? He didn't have no screen bottom boards. So now somebody figures out that sometimes mites fall through these screen bottom boards, and they find that a good number fall. So now people like Frank or whoever really think that screen bottom boards do a lot. That's a tough one. It's like, do they do a lot? No, they're actually worse. They're the worst thing you can have as a bottom board. I don't know what the hell you would need one for. You're letting ants go right through. Beetles can sometimes get through. You're letting the smell your hive out. You could like cause robbing sometimes. Honey drips through there. They're just such a dumb thing. They don't really affect mites or pests. Is it a treatment? It's like such a pointless thing. It would be like saying, if I wave a magic wand over and I think that kills mites, now am I not a treatment-free beekeeper? I don't know. It goes with your intention, I guess. I don't know. The screen bottom board is one that I have trouble with. Does it really do anything for mites? Everybody with screen bottom boards treats. So you tell me, does it do anything? If it does anything, then why do you treat if you have a screen bottom board? So it's really just a goofy one it does fall into a gray area. I don't have any screen bottom boards. I wouldn't use them, not so much because I think they're a treatment, but ants just go right through them and they can get right back and forth. The bees usually try to propolize them shut. They're just a stupid annoyance to the bees themselves. You put a swarm in a box with a screen bottom board. It's like you're putting them in a 5-sided box. They think it's wide open at the bottom. I've seen so many people's swarms leave. Whatever. I'm going to move past it. I think that if you did nothing else and you only had screen bottom boards because you think it helps with ventilation or something, I wouldn't have any problem saying you're still a treatment-free beekeeper. I would just think you just don't get it. That's what I would think. Especially in the north, like you're in New Jersey, so if a screen bottom board could ever be more pointless, it would be anywhere north of Tennessee. I used to collect bees in the grass and try to save them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the way we're going. That's where we're going. There's a lady in England that took a bumblebee that had a broken wing or something, picked up a freaking bumblebee, became like famous for bringing this bumblebee in the house. Like the damn thing was just trying to die. It looked like it was probably old. Kept it alive for like a week or two. Damn thing died, and they like had a whole funeral. It was just millions of people worried about this one, probably a drone bumblebee. So goofy, just goofy. Like that's what we're coming to. I had wax moth. I had wax moth trapper in the space when the bottom board was left in. I thought it would help monitor them or for looking for them. Think for that. I mean, I'm not the end all be all say all king of who's a treatment free beekeeper or not. I mean, I can tell a charlatan fake from a mile away, just like BeeFit Beekeeping. Obviously, that's like one of the biggest ones, one of the fakest treatment free beekeepers. Her buddy, the terrible beekeeper. So it's not about me letting something slide. I mean, do whatever you want. But I'll call out fake treatment free beekeepers, just like the other one that I was busting up a couple weeks ago was that something stinger something, sweet stingers of Oklahoma. Another non-treatment free beekeeper, just a someone totally in denial of the treatments that they do. I don't even know what a wax moth trapper is. They're totally a cleanup crew. They have nothing to do with they're not a pest. They're just a scavenger. All right, let's see. Let me read a little more here. I can't even tell who's in here. My whole screen is screwed up. Let's see. Oop. Make it a little bigger. Okay. I said, why keep bees at all if you don't intend to treat? I said the answer is simple, because it's possible, easy, and it benefits the bees more than propping up weak, unfit genetics. That cannot be argued with. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been keeping bees, how big you think you are. Come on here and try to tell me that treating somehow helps bees, the gene pool of honeybees, which isn't even a native species. You're gonna look stupid because you're arguing with selection, like for survival. What's his name? Greg was saying something. He went on this long-winded. I don't know what the hell he was going on about. How I'm sure it was right after I started commenting, because they weren't talking about anything until I came in and said, "Hey, hello, what's up?" Something about how treating kept a bunch of his bulk bees alive so that he could move towards selecting for more mite resistant bees. And it was a total joke. Like I was sitting there, like my brain couldn't even function listening to what he was saying. Not just because of how long it always is, but it made no sense. You're saying that treating kept, well, first of all, the end bees he was talking about that were so great only needed to be treated like maybe once or maybe twice. Well, that's it. Then you're done. You don't have survival stock. You have treated alive bees. Again, you've done. Anyone who says they have bees that only need one or two treatments, they have literally nothing. They've done nothing, which is fine. That's fine. I'm not mad at them. But all those words were for nothing. It was to say nothing. How you doing, Ronnie? I still got to do live about the Swarm Boss Championship for this year. Not going to tell anybody who won, but I got everybody's numbers. I thought I'd come on here and talk about this for a little bit. Let's move along. I'm just responding to these comments on Instagram, something that I don't even use that much. So this person says, but brood breaks are a physical manipulation and according to you, a treatment. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, they're not a mental manipulation. They're not a spiritual manipulation. They're not, I don't know what the hell else they would be. Yeah, they're physical. Like, you got to actually do it. So, yeah, I think this person thinks that since that I do brood breaks, I don't do brood breaks. I've never intentionally brood breaked my bees. I don't. They can swarm. That's on them. I've done splits, which is beekeeping. I don't look at my bees and say, "Holy shit, look at that mite load. Time to do a brood break." No, that's treating. All right, let's see. I'm gonna keep answering questions in between my Instagram fiasco here. Let's see what Frank has. I got one for you. I have a what the hell? I have an Ivivon one. Thought the negative ions would remove Canadian smoke. I don't know what the hell that is. Now you're just being goofy. I don't even know what an Ivivon is. Is it a? So you think? Do I think that cleaning the air is a treatment? Well, I'll let you answer that. Did you do that to lower the mite numbers? Or let me ask you this. If I said, I'll bet you that iWave, okay. If I said to you, I'll bet you that iWave doesn't reduce mites, would you take that bet? So that one you can just answer yourself. So in other words, no, it's just something. I mean, just like what's the other guy, the bug farmer or whatever. He puts heaters in his hive for wintertime. I mean, whatever. I would never do that, but that's not a treatment. That's just keeping your bees warm. Maybe risking setting your property on fire or something. I think Frank did that too. Is that a mite treatment? No, it's just I don't something I wouldn't do. I'm trying to. Every year I'm trying to do less and less for these bees. I'm not trying to find new dumb shit to do. Somebody just put a video out about putting bananas on there again. All kinds of stuff. I'm seriously gotta make a video about putting dog shit on my beehives, and I bet you it's gonna get clicked. I'm gonna be dead serious too about how the dog shit really helps the bees. Like, they take the shit, they feed it to the larva. It gets, people are going to believe that. I just got to collect some shit. Let's see. Rodney says, how to remove bees from a rock column on a house in the mountain. Oh, yeah. Rodney had to remove bees from a rock column on a house in the mountains this morning. Well, I am. Congratulations. I don't mess with rocks, man. Maybe what'd you do? Did you pop the rocks out? Did you have to like bust them out and take it apart, or did you just force abscond them? Especially this late in the year, I wouldn't mess with them. But that sounds like a tough one. I always see people busting bricks apart and cement and cinder blocks and stuff. It's like, hey man, my hat's off to you, but I ain't doing none of that stuff. What is going on here, Pete? Grigley says. Oh, everything's going on. I can't even tell how long this thing's going on. This stupid, my stupid screen is messed up. It won't tell me anything. All I can see is my little screen and the comments. I can't tell how long we've been going. I can't tell who's in here. Let me see if I can. Man, this thing won't move. I can't figure it out. So then also I'm talking about a conversation that I had on Instagram of all places. I'm not even really messing around on Instagram. I just recycle my TikTok videos onto Instagram. You know what's funny? I've been spending most of my time on Facebook. Not my time there, but Facebook is paying a ton of money. Not, to me, a good amount of money. Like, I'm surprised how much they pay for these little dumb videos that get a ton of views. way more than YouTube. I haven't got a penny from YouTube yet. But Facebook, I'm putting stuff on Facebook, like this live stream, even though I can't see any Facebook comments. Let's see. I have no idea if iWave does anything. Thought dirty sock, honey. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing about Frank. Frank does a lot of experimenting, which I support that. Like if you're not having fun messing around doing weird stuff with bees, then fine. I mean, like if you're not having fun, I saw a video the other day of someone. They were so miserable having to go out and mess with their bees, and they thought it was funny how miserable they were. And I commented, "Oof." I said, "Man, I hope I am never like you." Or like that guy in that video. Man, what a drag to get up and think that going and mess with your bees is like going to your like factory job that you hate. Ugh. Man, I'm never gonna be like that. Oh, let me see if this works. Hold on. Nope, that did not work. Man, I hate this stupid laptop. All right, so Ronnie did the forced abscon. Yeah, that's smart. I mean, that's what I would, if I would do anything, that's what I would do. All right, so let's just continue here a little bit. I can't tell who's in here. Let me look on YouTube. See, there's probably like 3 people in here. Let's see. Sorry, 1 second. Let's see. Oh wow. Okay. Got 5 people in here at this very moment. I'm not complaining. Okay. So I explained that intentional brood breaks are treatments. If they do this, they're a treater. They just use brood breaks as a treatment. Let me say for the 10,000th time, I don't care if people treat their bees. I'm just stating facts, okay? Let's see. So then here, this person comes back again. And to state my question more clearly, why open and inspect a hive at all if you have no intention of, here we go, there it is, there's what you see my quotes, offering them assistance of any kind. Sorry, I had to do that. I had to be dramatic. Offering them assistance. What service do you feel you are doing for their genetics by putting them in boxes and housing them next to dozens of other colonies? Completely unnatural and absolutely presents unnatural environmental pressures on those genetics. I'm not trying to be an a-hole. I'm just feeling like I'm seeing many holes in this logic. So here's where I started to realize, like, man, this person is not being completely genuine with these statements. Let me just revisit this here. The question is, stated more honestly, why do you keep bees if you're not going to treat them to keep them alive? And I already explained that like 5 times in this live and in those comments. It's because I'm not going to contribute to turning bees into lab rats, lab mice, commercial turkeys, commercial pigs, commercial chickens. Those are all livestock. And honeybees are still semi-wild livestock. Feral, they can live in feral conditions. A lab rat can't. A lab mouse can't. A commercial turkey and chicken really can't for too long. Bees can, and they do. And Rodney and me and anybody else can make that perfectly clear. These bees don't just die every year, everything they go into. They not only do they live, they free, and even Pete Grigley here can also say, like, you do removals just for a little bit and you'll see them bees are not just dying all the time. Oh God. Come on, man. Here's Frank. I mean, I don't care. I'm going to answer the questions, even though I'm giggling a little bit. Let me see what this says here. Sorry. Is swarm trapping a treatment? They are tricked to stay. So, Frank, I'm going to ask you again because, swarm trapping is just catching some bees. Or going to collect a swarm is catching some bees. I don't see how catching some bees lowers the mites. Anything that lowers mites or fights mites is a treatment. So no, swarm trapping is great. It's a great thing to do. It's so easy. I don't know if you set any swarm traps. I don't remember any swarm videos, but damn, man, you should be catching some swarms. It's a good way to just get some bees, free bees that you don't have to be greedy about and try to keep them alive like they're all you got. So treatment-free bees are not livestock. Pampered bees are livestock. I mean, this question, it's fine that you ask it, but sometimes people will use that, like this Justin, these other people I know, they'll say, well, bees are livestock, so because they're livestock, they need to be this and that and that. That's one, a lot of the preachy treater beekeepers will use that. So some people could consider bees livestock. It really don't matter. It's semantics. I don't care if they're livestock, if they're your pets. If bees live in a tree, are they livestock? Tell me that. If they live in the roof of a 10-story building, are they livestock? Like, are they livestock for that person? Are they livestock for the person who has trees in their yard and the bees are there? No, they can be livestock. Commercial beekeepers have livestock. That's what their bees are. Some people might have a pig as a pet in their house. They might have a little potbelly pig. Is that livestock? That's their pet. Some people would say, oh, well, now you got to eat it. You got to make bacon out of it. Well, no, you don't. Some animals can fall into different categories. And these are insects too. Like what other insect is livestock? Really? So they're really totally different. You can have ducks. No, there's wild ducks. Then you have ducks that you have on your farm. Sometimes you can have both. Are they all livestock? I mean, it's just semantics. You can call them livestock. I don't care. Not you, Frank, but like anybody can call them livestock. It doesn't change anything. That's the part people gotta like focus on. It doesn't change anything. I'm still gonna keep whatever they call livestock. I'm still gonna keep it with zero treatments. I'm still gonna catch the absolute ridiculous amount of bees that are out in the wild or wherever. I'm gonna harvest them from the wild. It doesn't matter if they're livestock or not. Even deer. Look at deer. Are deer livestock? They live out in the woods. Some people feed them. Some people do all these kind of things to like keep them around, to feed them, keep them healthy. Then they go harvest them. Are they livestock? Are they wild? Some people have deer on farms. I mean, it's a blurry, unnecessary line to even look at or try to draw. Frank didn't trap bees. He's out of boxes. That's cool. Let me see. All right, what are some more? Let me make this a little bigger here. What service do you feel you're doing for their genetics by putting them in boxes and housing them next to dozens of other colonies? Completely unnatural. So this is another thing that I get a lot. Like, why put your bees all close to each other? I don't have anywhere near the number of colonies that a commercial bee yard has, and I don't see people bitching at commercial beekeepers. Like, they have hundreds in one spot. It's weird. It's weird how people treat people differently. Like, they have hundreds of colonies just crammed for on a pallet, a couple feet apart, trucking them all over the place. But somehow my yard which only has 53 out here in my backyard. That's a completely unnatural, crowded thing. But okay, one of my favorite games is let's pretend they're right. Let's say that is crowded. To me, and to anybody who just thinks about it for a second, when you put an animal or livestock or anything in a tough, like crowded, competitive situation, the best are going to rise to the top. So maybe if I had two colonies here, 100 yards apart, they're not competing with anybody. They're just in like this bee heaven. Are they even being tested at all? Like, I don't feel that it's necessary to like pamper your bees and like make all these other adjustments for them. They don't really need it. They're tough ass bugs. Like, they can live in terrible situations. I don't think my yard is terrible. Some people might look at it and say it's crowded. It's not. I only have 53 here. My other ones are spread out. So yeah, that is always weird when I see that. Like, it's again just trying to imply treating, really. This person said, I also think it depends on the style of brood break. So this is just pure treatment talk here. I've never heard there's different styles of brood breaks. One is caging it and restricting the queen's laying. Like, how much more intrusive? Like, this is so ironic because comparing it to the most previous comment that I just dealt with. How much more intrusive can you be than to go into a hive, find the queen, cage it, and then basically lock it in a cage for however long? I heard some people say 30 days. Like, that's so intrusive, and how is that good for anything? Just to do a brood break, which really does nothing, and then to treat on top of it. These people are bullshitting you if they think that just brood breaking is all they do. One is restricting the queen's laying. Is the keeper taking brood and destroying it? I've never destroyed brood for no reason. I just don't even understand that statement. I don't get it. Is the keeper doing or giving it to another colony? So sometimes what they're talking about is what I would call equalizing. You got 4 colonies, 2 are huge, 2 are like okay, and you want to equalize them into 4 semi-equal colonies. It's routine, normal beekeeping. I don't do it much, but it's just totally normal to do. I don't understand what picture they're painting here. Is that a treatment? I don't know. It's just normal beekeeping. Is the keeper doing splits? So again, splits are totally normal. It's just a normal thing to do for 100 and something years, to split your bees. So are they treatments? I would say splits, just to expand your numbers, is not a treatment. Equalizing your colonies is not a treatment. Caging your queen, it's just not a thing that many people do. Yeah, that's absolutely a treatment. We're almost done with this part. Then I can just get back to just yakking about normal stuff. But let's go back to Frank's questions here. Frank, be having great questions. What's my feelings on the spotted lanternfly? They're not native like honeybees. Well, honeybees aren't native either. Neither of them are native. Should they have a chance? Should what have? Yeah, I don't understand the question. Here's the funny thing. People should think of this, like consider this, ponder this. Spotted lanternfly moves into ecosystems and completely overwhelms it at first. This is a cycle that's been going on for a few years, thousands of times, including my area. They completely overwhelm it. Usually the first year they just kind of show up a little bit. That's what happened here. The second year, you could not walk 2 feet without having 10 of them banging off your head. You were running over them in the road. It was like a constant shower of them. Then the next year they were there, but still nothing like the year before. And now The past 2 years, it's like I don't even see them. There's a couple. I can just see a few. Why does that happen? They fall into a niche somehow. I don't do things start eating them. Um, I'm not sure exactly what happens, but it's happened over and over and over again. And that's the same thing that would have happened with, well, it's the same thing that's happened thousands of times with other invasive species like stink bugs, marmorated stink bugs. You used to see them, people with millions of them in their windows, in their cars, everywhere. Now you still see them, but they're like, maybe some places they're very numerous, but that's how invasive species go. Some of them never slow down. Like if you look at kudzu vine or something like that, plants are a little tough. Like they're not the same as insects. So kudzu will still wipe out a whole area by covering it up. Same with like garlic mustard or invasive plants are much worse, I think, than invasive bugs. So mites would have done the same thing. They would have came in, completely knocked everything down, which they did, and then they would have started to kind of dissipate, which they did, and then beekeepers went along and started making up ways to fight them and just screwed up the whole thing. And they screwed up the whole thing. So now we're on this treadmill. And the reason I can say that is because if you look at Cuba, look at Puerto Rico, look at South Africa, and other places, they took the full brunt of varroa mites, never treated, and now they don't even think about treating. It's not even, doesn't even come up. They laugh at us, and they should. So that's what I think about spy lanternflies. You're just not going to see them that much. Look at how Frank's videos, he's like finding one and trying to rescue it and give it water, because he wouldn't be doing that if there was 80 million of them on the tree. What's this? What if I move brood around to give a rolling brood break to each kind? I don't know. Now you're getting, I don't even know what the hell that is. You just answered it. Are you trying to fight mites by doing this? If it is, you're treating your bees. Like, what are you doing it in response to? That's a treatment. I don't think, Frank, I mean, there's my buddy and all, but I would say Frank isn't a treatment-free beekeeper. I mean, he's be doing some stuff. I don't know. I don't know. If on your mind you're like really trying to struggle with what's a treatment and what isn't, you're probably treated. But hey, it's a free country. All right, let me make this big again. I'm trying to just finish this really quick here. So I tell this person, reasons to inspect the colony could include determining queen rightness. The normal shit beekeepers do, adding space, checking stores. It's beekeeping. So I stated the fact, which is that the person's question is a straw man. Not saying it's intentional, but I answer it anyway. My bees are put in what some describe as an unnatural, unhelpful situation. There can't be more unhelpful. I mean, I don't help these bees. I don't help them. If they're queenless, I'll give them something so they can make a queen. That's still not a treatment. It's just giving them something to make a queen. It's not fighting mites. So yeah, I don't help them. Anything that can survive here can survive anywhere. That's what I believe. And I'm sticking to it, including much more comfy conditions. So by that I mean, if someone really really wants to just make their yard so perfect, only have 2 colonies there, 100 yards apart, just perfect everything, my bees are going to make it there. If they can make it right next to 50 other ones in some farmland with terrible forage, they can make it in Kansas. My bees do very well in these terrible conditions. There's no holes in the logic of selection for survival. So I say this all the time. I'll say it the hell again. You can't argue with selection. Arguing with something that's a fact and has been a fact forever is just stupid. It's like you're arguing against, like, I don't know, the Earth's roundness. I mean, maybe a bunch of my viewers are gonna take that the wrong way, but like you're arguing against something just dumb. You can't argue against selection. It's just dumb. You may not want to do it because you're scared of losing some bees, or you don't like the way unfit genetics act when they get their ass kicked. Well, don't go on a safari and watch an unfit gazelle get eaten by a lion. But what are you going to do? Jump out and put a splint on the gazelle and take it to the hospital and then set it free? Like, you can't keep propping up the weak forever. Let me see. What if I move? We got Richard Tom here. Let's see what he said. Richard Toms. If I add more mites to my bees with the purpose of pressuring them harder to find stronger bees, is that a treatment? So that's like what I'm gonna leave that up. That's kind of like what I was talking about a little bit ago. When you're purposely like making the obstacles even harder, that's how you get gains and things. So it's one thing I like to use working out in the gym as like an example, even though I don't go to the gym and I don't lift weights. But if you go to the gym and you want to get big and strong, and every time you go to pick up a weight, someone helps you pick it up, and they spot you and they don't let you lift, they don't really let you do anything because they don't want you to struggle. They want you to do like this lady's saying. They want you to be helped at all times. You're going to go in, waste all your time because everybody's helping you, and you're going to leave with nothing. You're not stressed at all. If you're allowed to do your own exercise, people leave you the hell alone, then you can get some gains, but eventually, you might hit a plateau. But now what Richard Toms is talking about is he's saying you go in there and someone's making it even harder for you. Like you're going to lift your weights, and this guy's saying, no, hell no, you're not just going to lift 100 pounds. I'm going to put 200 on there, and you better lift that up. So he's making it even harder. So, and my thought would say, you're making it even harder. You're going to make even more progress. Now, is it a reality to actually add mites to a hive? I don't know. I mean, how many can you really add? Maybe you could find a completely mite-ridden, almost dying commercial colony of bees and add it to one that you just think is the best ever. It's a cool experiment. It's definitely not a treatment, because what did I say, or what? A treatment aims to lower the mite level. That's it. Like, that's the shortest possible definition that there is. What Richard Tom's suggestion is to raise the mite level. So it's not a treatment. It's to raise it. Do I do that? No, I wouldn't even. It seems tedious and kind of. I don't know. I may have done it unintentionally. Like I did do some combines of some colonies where the queen just, I don't know why the hell they disappeared. Like they just disappeared late in the season. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I still have a ton of bees. So I would combine them. Now, maybe the one that I combined might have had a ton of mites in it, and I put it on one that didn't. So I may have unintentionally did that, but to answer Richard Tom's question in a word, is that a treatment? No, it's not. It's just like really, really putting the stress on the bees, which I'm not against that, because we're not dealing with an endangered species or something here. If I'm trying to raise eagles and there's only 5 left in the whole world, I don't want somebody going in there trying to make them sick or trying to give them parasites. No. But if I'm trying to make a stronger species of whatever, make their life hard. I'm just talking to hobbyists and people as big as they want to be doing this. I'm not saying, oh, Ian Stipler or fucking Bob Binney has to do this because no, they're commercial beekeepers. I don't give a shit what they do. It's not the same. This isn't for them. Richard Toms, let's just say heavy-handed natural selection. Or drop lots of drone brood from other. I mean, I don't know. You could do it. I'm not against it. It's definitely not a treatment. It's more like just experimenting. It doesn't fall into treatment. It definitely doesn't contribute to weakening your genetics. You might kill them. I mean, you might cause bees to die that wouldn't have died. But that's up to you. If you have a ton of bees and you don't really, that doesn't concern you, then that's fine. Let's see. I think I'm almost done. So I just reiterate this person's question. I say, why open a hive with no intention of treating? Because this person keeps trying to dance around the word treatment and just call it like helping or assisting or be a better husband, do better bee husbandry. Is treating. That's the word they want. And the reason is because I'm a treatment-free beekeeper, and I've explained why. So now this person, again, for like I don't know how many time, completely reshapes my statement and shuffles the meaning of what I'm saying. It's got a little bit annoying here. She says, so it sounds like you're simply opening your hives for your own curiosity. Got it. I don't know how to take that. Like, for my own curiosity, no matter how many kinds I have, I do have a good idea of what's going on. I wouldn't call it curiosity. I know what's in a beehive. I know what's in there. I have a list of things I want to check for. Or is there even bees in there? Is there a queen in there? Are they starving? Do they need some empty frames? Is that because of my curiosity? If they want to call it that, yeah, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're saying you knowingly put your bees, in your words, in terrible conditions. No, I never said that. I never said I knowingly put my bees in terrible conditions. I said that the conditions that my bees are in may be described by some as unhelpful, not natural, maybe terrible. They might say terrible, but these people obviously don't keep a lot of bees. They obviously haven't done it for a while. Yeah, they're just out of touch. Anybody who look at my yard and say my bees are in terrible conditions, they're out of touch. My yard's nice. Let's see. Oh, this part really kind of pissed me straight off, like almost kind of laughingly pissed me off. It says, is animal husbandry just completely out the window in your operation? Oh man, it just. So I have chickens, I have a dog, I have a cat. I'm a good husband to my animals. Okay, all my animals are very well taken care of. I'm not selecting for the survival of my dog or my cat. Those are my pets. I treat them with whatever they need: shots, worming, flea stuff. It's because they're members of my family. My chickens are a little bit further away from that. They're not members of my family, but I also actually, to be thinking back, I really don't give my chickens medicine or anything like that. They eat well. They're taken care of well. They always have clean water. I mean, they're well taken care of. They have a nice huge coop, a big huge run, and my chickens are doing great. So that kind of pissed me off. No, my animals are well taken care of, and so are my bees. So that was a little annoying. They say, seems like there's no shortage of environmental difficulties for the bees to overcome, so why add additional stressors to your bees? Yeah, it's the same tune I hear all the time. I hear that tune. Like, what the hell you want me to do? This is where I live. However stressful my environment is here, that's just what it is. There's Roundup, there's fertilizers, there's pesticides, there's all that shit here. I can't change my whole town. The biggest stressor that this person's talking about is that I have a bunch of colonies in one spot. I guess that's what it is. But it's a big ass country ass town, and I'm one of the only beekeepers here, so they have a lot of room to go get what they need. Let's see what Frank's talking about. Drop line. I already saw that one. Rodney. You can feed them Apis Biologics. There's some more snake oil by the freaking con artist trying to sell that stuff. Apix Scamologics. If an inspector finds anything in an inspection, do you euthanize it to escape treatment? So the only thing, and it's legally and technically and really, the only thing a state inspector can take action on is American foul brood, which of course I've never had. No one in my area has never had it. I wouldn't say my state has never had it because they've had it, a couple 100 miles away. But they're looking for American foul brood. They can't do anything about mites. They can't do anything about European foul brood, beetles. They can't do anything about that stuff. Only American foul brood. And even the funny thing is, even if they find an American foul brood in my yard, they can't really do anything right away. They have to send samples. They have to do all this crazy stuff before they can come back and say do this or that. But of course, that's the one thing I would break down. And if it's a colony that I needed to euthanize for American foul brood, I would do it. It's not a big deal. Because I'm not trying to be that one spreading American foul brood of all things. And I'm also not selecting for the survival of bees with American foul brood. It's one of those things like selecting for, I don't know, drowning, not underwater. You can't just turn a normal animal into a fish. It's something that they're probably going to die from. So it's not like mites. It's nothing like varroa mites. And American foul brood has been around since forever, forever. But yeah, to be honest, I'd kill a colony or two or 10 if they all had American foul brood. I really don't want to deal with that. It's just so rare that I don't really. So to answer your question, if an inspector finds anything in an inspection, do I euthanize it? Hell no. But for American foul brood, yeah, I would do it. I wouldn't even make them go through all the hoops. I wouldn't make them do all that stuff. I'm not stupid. I don't care what anybody else says. Let's see if I can finish this up here. Oh, there's no shortage. Is requeening not a treatment? If the hive. Wait, what? Okay, so yeah, I check for queenlessness in my colonies. Who doesn't? You check for queenlessness in your bees. And if you have extra queens, you add a queen. It's not really requeening if there's not a queen there. You're just queening them. Requeening is like removing a queen and then putting a new queen in there for whatever reason. I don't requeen unless it's just a drone layer, or it's a queen that just never got mated and is like a stubby little tiny, fingernail of a bee. Because it's just a waste of time and equipment to have a colony that just has nothing in it. If it doesn't have a queen and it doesn't have any resources to make a queen, you don't even have a colony. You just got a box with some bees in it. There's no sense in trying to select for survival of a box of bees that doesn't have a queen. It's stupid. So requeening is not a treatment. Well, I'm going to answer Frank's question really quick just because it's relative to what I'm talking about. Frank says, you don't get breeder queens? Now, good question, but I'm trying. I laugh at what people call breeder queens. I just laugh at them. People they claim that they're paying hundreds, thousands of dollars for a queen. That queen better do a lot of things for that kind of money. I can't think of anybody, name anybody whose queen is gonna come to a yard where my bees get their ass kicked every winter, just get them kicked all season, all winter, and survive with the genetic diversity that I have here. And some person from Ohio or Michigan or Minnesota, whatever the hell, thinks that their queen is somehow worth thousands of dollars for what? Like, I don't get it. But that's a long answer. Of course, the answer is hell no. Hell no. I don't think it would even do anything here. It would just be, I would consider it just a normal ass queen. That shit cracks me up. Breeder queens. What a big scam. What a total scam. Like, there's enough scams in beekeeping, but I buy breeder queens from whoever who does instrumental insemination. So, it's a fucking queen bee. It's not going to do anything special. They probably still going to treat them. Like, what does it do special? I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't know. Do their bees make a ton more honey? If you think that's worth thousands of dollars, I think they're sick. All right, what's this person talking about? So, is sharing your resources and feeding not a treatment? If you're checking on stores, are you not assisting them if they are low? Why check if you're just going to leave them to starve? I mean, there you get into a little bit of a touchy subject. I used to feed. I fed for like 12 years, maybe 11 years. And I stopped feeding. This is like my third season of absolutely not feeding, and I'll never turn back to feeding. I removed the queen excluder today that had a little bit of honey on it, and I was kind of far up in the yard, so I just like frisbeed it way down, like way down on the other side, and I just figured that's far away enough that when bees go to find it, it's not going to be a problem. 15 minutes later, my whole yard was a tornado because of that queen excluder. It just had a little bit of honey on it. Right by the excluder, the air was black. It was just black air. And then they don't just stop there. They go searching everything. So my bee barn had a whole cloud of bees trying to get in it. They were going everywhere. Luckily, it started raining. So hopefully I didn't start robbing, but I will never go back to feeding. If you can manage your bees correctly and not take too much, I don't see how feeding is ever totally necessary. If you're trying to nurse a cutout or something in the fall, I mean, that maybe you can find a situation where you want to feed. I'm not going to hate somebody on it. Feeding is definitely not treating. Nobody says to themselves, I'm going to go fill my sugar syrup feeder right now because I'm trying to lower the mite levels in this hive. Like, nobody does that because they'd sound stupid. So feeding isn't a treatment. I just don't feed anymore. And man, all that going back and forth to the store for dozens and dozens of bags and then mixing them in the fucking 5-gallon buckets for hours and filling all those feeders. Oh, you guys can keep that. I'll never do that just to save some bees. Save some bees that are free. Ugh, hell no. Keep that. Oh, so this lady, probably just thinks it's so cruel. It's so cruel if you don't feed them bees. They're just going to sit there and starve to death. No, they won't. A bone dry colony. Let's say everybody's full. Everybody's doing great, but you got a bone dry ass colony of bees. You try to feed them here, they're going to get robbed right out. Don't matter how you try to hide that. If you leave them completely alone, they're very likely just going to abscond. They're going to be a little clump of bees hanging in the tree, and then they're going to go into another hive, and they're going to kill the queen, and they're just going to combine with something else on their own. You're going to have an empty box there. Big deal. That's some bees you didn't want anyway. If like you're in an area where all your bees are starving, like you took all their honey and now they're all starving, well then that's you. That's a dumb way to do stuff. If you're in an area where your bees look great, they've been great all season, you didn't even take any honey, and they're all starving, well, you're in the wrong place to have bees at, in my opinion. You got too many bees there. That's just my opinion. I've never experienced that, so I don't really know. But sometimes weird when I see people that like they only have 1 or 2 colonies, and they say, "Well, I've had bees for 3 years, and I've never taken a jar of honey off them. I just never have honey." Like, wow, you need to go all the way back, start all over again, because I don't know how people do that. I'm sure anybody in here, well, not Frank because he never caught a swarm, but I'm sure Rodney can say he's put a swarm in a box, and all of a sudden, like in not very much time, they fill out a whole box, fill out another one, put a ton of honey on there. So how these people can have bees for 2, 3, 4 years and not have a drop of honey, they're messing something up real bad. Yeah, Apis scamologics. You know where you can get it over there at the, what do you call that? Mafiasomething.com. I don't know. So why check if I'm just going to leave them to starve? So this person just truly doesn't understand what the purpose of keeping bees is if you aren't willing to care for them. And here they go again. They're afraid to say the word treat because that's going to make them a treater. They're afraid to, when they say care for them, they mean treat them, fight their pests for them. That's what happens when you're afraid to say treatment, because now this person has to call themselves a treating beekeeper. They can't ride on the coattails of treatment-free beekeeping. It's really a weird mental state for me. Like, so many people do it though. How do I feel? How do I feel about open feeding? They can mess with your treatment freeze. Well, that's how I used to feed for years. I very rarely did like in frame feeders or hive top feeders. I mostly did open feeding, and I just thought that was the best thing. Looking back though, man, what a mess. Oh my god. Like I had baby pools, swimming pools, and buckets like all over the yard filled with straw, not filled, but had a straw layer in there that I had to dump like several 5-gallon buckets in there every day. They'd have it bone dry, by the time the sun went down. And in the morning, I would go out there and they would be waiting there. Like there's nothing in there. The bees aren't even in the damn pool. They're just a big cloud flying around the pools and the buckets. They're just waiting. Like they follow. What a nightmare that shit was. And I used to think that was great. I have videos doing that, and now I'm like, that was so dumb. That was so stupid. What a waste of money. What an absolute waste of time. It had no effect on my survival rates. It actually was. I've had higher survival since I stopped feeding. Now, if you're asking how do I feel about, say, someone down the road open feeding, like there's no one right around here. But if someone is open feeding, I don't know, a mile away or two, and they have like baby pools of syrup, I don't care. I really don't care. I didn't put it out. That's not my money getting wasted. That's not a tornado in my yard. That's a tornado in their yard. And especially if they're doing it with fewer hives than I have, that's their problem. I don't care about that. Like, feed my bees, good, I'll take it. But that's how I feel about it. I'm not doing it, but I don't care if someone else is feeding. My neighbors could be open feeding Apis. They could. I don't care. I don't think. I mean, just looking at the ingredients on that crap, that total snake oil garbage. All 3 products have the same. If I remember correctly, they all have the same ingredients. So it's like you're buying the same thing with 3 different names on it. Real dumb. I don't know if any of the ingredients would harm bees. I just don't see it helping bees. It's just, for what? It's just another dumb thing to sell to new beekeepers. Silly. All right, let's see. Last thing here. I think this is the end of our conversation here. So I didn't say I knowingly put my bees in terrible conditions. Terrible is how some would describe it, not me. I add no additional stressors to the bees. Have you ever seen a commercial yard requeen? Oh, so then I just finally say, how you can read the words I say and twist them into things I didn't say is astounding. I don't know how you do that unintentionally. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so thank goodness that is over. Let me get rid of that. Okay, good. Yeah, so it became a little exhausting here. I told them that I'm going live to rehash the whole thing because I hate typing on my phone forever. Wow, it's really raining right now. But yeah, that happens a lot. No matter who I'm talking to, if they want to kind of ride on the coattails of like natural, like I'm breeding better bees, they don't want to call anything they do a treatment, and they will try to twist my words around all the time. And sometimes it's hard to like they'll make such a mess of what I'm saying that it's hard to fix it. Yeah, they'll just go on along like those comments were just so many wrong assertions, so many weird straw man arguments that like to keep cleaning it up and trying to bring it to reel it back in. It can be an exercise. Oh wow, so finally my screen is fixed here. I can see how long I've been going. I'm not sure if anybody from Facebook was here. I just couldn't see any comments. I guess I'll see that when I sign off here and go over to Facebook and see who's there. But I'll just give a minute for if anybody has any last minute things they want to talk about, or they can even jump in. There's only 2 people here right now, but yeah, I think I'll just cut it soon. Once it gets a little too long, no one's gonna want to watch the replay. So thanks for the people hanging out with me that did. Thanks for hearing me out. I feel better when I get this crap off my chest. And thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.